Y'all want to put YB in this. YB a good artist. We ain't against YB, he a good artist. He may have some issues, but he a good artist. But everybody know, you hoes fuck with them folks. You did that.
Ain't nothing colder than your baby mama smashing your fake op because you and NBA YoungBoy ain't ops. You was actually idolizing that man for a while.
Imagine attempting to get even with the top slime NBA YoungBoy, only for him to turn around, fly out with your child, and crack her. One of the most disrespectful acts in hip-hop history was the result of a genuine personal crisis that was brewing behind all the diss tracks and social media feud. Everybody engaged in this complicated incident provided us with direct quotes, live broadcasts, and unique footage. The startling reality of how this entire scenario turned from rodent dispute to bedroom warfare is more petty and deliberate than anyone could have ever guessed. We are discussing cross-country flights, manipulative children, banned phone numbers, and revenge plots that would make a soap opera writer envious. We are going to dissect every single aspect. Hey, how are you, family? We're going to delve deeply into some authentic street drama that has been shattering the rap game and demonstrating why it's important to watch who you have children with. This story has it all. Retaliation, backdoors, family strife, and repercussions that will impact defenseless children for years to come. For those who haven't been following along, NBA YoungBoy and NLE Choppa have been fighting for a while. These two teenage rappers are among the most attractive in the industry. They both had egos larger than their bank accounts, were from the South, and had that street cred. Territorial conflicts and some industrial politics were the beginning of this feud, but it quickly turned into something far more personal. We now know that beef is ingrained in the culture of the rap game. Fans take sides, artists criticize one another, and it typically remains on wax. However, Choppa's circumstances were unique since they began to touch on his private life, his family, and above all his kids. When Choppa began acting in ways that YoungBoy's gang didn't like, the tension really increased. In their song, you could hear the tension rising. Subliminal bars, oblique references, that passive-aggressive energy that lets you know something's brewing without saying names directly. Both performers had devoted fan following that were prepared to fight over any perceived insult. Since knowing the background is essential to comprehending how things became so complex, let's now discuss the baby mama scenario. When NLE Choppa started dating this woman, he was rather young. A 19-year-old child is interacting with a 26 to 27-year-old adult who has life experience. Later, his own mother would bring this up on live, stating that the woman was attempting to marry a 19-year-old when she was very nearly 30. That in itself is a warning sign. Family, power relations become distorted when there is such a disparity in maturity and age. This baby mama recently made the decision to start chatting recklessly on social media. She mentioned Choppa in a few tweets, then said the most offensive statement you could think of. However, she was already playing games, sharing old photos, leaving subliminal remarks, and engaging in other passive-aggressive behaviors that toxic individuals use to get attention before she dropped that bomb. Then, she truly went too far. On the internet, this woman said that her son, who is also NLE Choppa's son, believes NBA YoungBoy is his father. According to her, her child refers to YoungBoy as daddy, rather than his biological father. Take a moment to process it, family. She essentially said that her own child has been indoctrinated to believe that his father is his father's enemy. Let me clarify for those of you who may not be aware of how deeply this affects. In our culture, it is considered the height of contempt to have your child refer to another man, especially your adversary, as daddy. This is the kind of material that causes serious issues on the streets. This is how pride and contempt lead to people getting wounded. Here's what makes this situation truly sick. Though her own child is being used as a weapon by her, this baby's mother is controlling him to harm his father, even though he didn't choose to be in this predicament. That is psychological warfare, and the youngster will ultimately bear the consequences. But, family, things get worse. It became out that this woman had prevented Choppa from communicating with his son and his entire family. We're discussing his mother's blocking, keeping his grandmother in the dark. An 81-year-old woman who was only interested in seeing her great-grandchild. Take a moment to consider that, because this woman banned her number. An 81-year-old grandmother, who most likely assisted in raising Choppa and adores that child without conditions, is unable to even call to see how her great-grandchild is doing. That is cruel, not just petty. Therefore, this baby mama is intentionally preventing any contact while she is on social media, complaining that Choppa doesn't call his son, doesn't spend time with him, and doesn't care about him. She is making Choppa out to be a bad father by causing the precise circumstance she is complaining about. Parental alienation of this kind is genuine and harmful. You are interfering with a child's psychological development when you turn them against their parent, cut off communication, or substitute someone else. especially an enemy for the parent. This demonstrates a history of deceptive behavior that goes much beyond simply being upset with your baby daddy. The goal of this strategic psychological warfare is to harm Choppa's connection with his son and his reputation as a father as much as possible. Now put yourself in Choppa's shoes. Your baby mama has blocked you and your entire family. Despite your efforts as a young father to be involved in your child's development, she then lies about the scenario on social media, giving the impression that you don't give a damn about your own son. Anybody would be driven insane by it alone. Choppa hit his breaking point when she shared that video discussing how their son believes YoungBoy is his father. Everyone was stunned by what he said in his comment beneath the video. Because she was pleading for attention, he wrote, "Cracker for May 5. For those who don't understand street jargon, that effectively means sleep with her for me. While some may consider the remark inappropriate, allow me to explain the psychology involved." Choppa felt helpless, hurt, and furious. There was nothing he could do, either legally or personally, to stop his baby mom from using his own child against him. Thus, he took the only action he could. In the same way that she was using their child, he allowed his enemies to use her. Actual conversation, that comment alone demonstrates Choppa's level of hurt and rage. However, it also demonstrates his intelligence. He was fully aware of the consequences of putting something out there. YoungBoy would see it. He knew. He was certain his baby mom would notice. And he was aware that it would start a series of circumstances that would reveal her true nature. NBA YoungBoy. He accepted the invitation and took off. Numerous accounts, including those from his own crew, claimed that YoungBoy contacted Choppa's baby mama, flew her and her child to Utah, and followed Choppa's instructions exactly. He gave her a crack. We are discussing YoungBoy's plan to transport this woman and her child, Choppa's child, to his home state across the nation. It goes beyond simply sharing a bed. Making a statement is what that is. He is demonstrating to the world that he can take anything from his adversary, including his baby mama. The real stinger, though, is this. There is more to this than sex. This had to do with message delivery, control, and power. Even though YoungBoy was aware that having sex with his enemy's baby mama would be the height of disrespect, he still did it. He was aware that it would cause additional drama, harm Choppa, and harm the family. The streets began to speak after it happened. One of YoungBoy's associates, Baby Joe, went live and essentially confirmed everything. He described how the entire incident unfolded in Atlanta and Utah, and how he knew the woman since she was a wild and out girl. When NLE Choppa's mother learned of the incident, she lost it. And by off, I mean family. This mother had had enough of raising Choppa, who adored that grandson, and who had been denied the opportunity to see her own great-grandchild. Mama Choppa attacked that baby mama like it was no big deal when she went live. She didn't mince words. She made no effort to be tactful. She didn't care whether she looked well for the cameras. She talked from the heart of a wounded mother and grandma. Everybody know what you got going on. You think we don't know? You think that man going to get on live and not say what really happened? Everybody know that you was messing with them, folks. You did that. You think we don't know? Mama Choppa said, essentially accusing the baby mama of having an affair with YoungBoy. She also spoke it without hesitation or stuttering. She spoke with the assurance of someone who has receipts and wasn't hesitant to use them. However, Mama Choppa's admission of the obstructing situation was the most devastating portion. How the underscore you going to call him when y'all got him on block? Y'all blocked me. Y'all blocked my mama who's 81 years old. My mama shouldn't be worried about whether she can see her great-grandchildren or not, she said, describing the cruelty of keeping the 81-year-old grandmother and the baby apart. We discovered the truth, family, when she stated, "You know my mama loves you all, mother and ass. And this is how y'all fing-ass treat her out of all the underscore people." On social media, the baby mama wasn't just being petty. She was deliberately keeping Choppa away from his own son. After blocking them all, she had the audacity to go online and pretend that Choppa wasn't attempting to interact with his child. Mama Choppa also called out the age difference, saying, "He's 19 and you're 26 years old. You done lived your life. You done seen the world. He ain't seen nothing. But you want this NA to marry you at 19? You crazy? You're a Looney Tune." She revealed that this woman was pressuring to marry her when she was almost 30, but explains a lot about the power dynamics in this relationship and why things got so toxic when he refused. Now, let's talk about what this means in the context of street culture and hip-hop. When you sleep with your enemy's baby mama, especially after he basically gives you permission out of spite, you're crossing lines that have serious consequences. In the streets, this type of disrespect can get people killed. We're not talking about regular relationship drama. We're talking about violating someone's family, their bloodline, their legacy. That's the type of stuff that starts wars. But the real victim in all this is that innocent child. This baby is going to grow up knowing that his mother slept with his father's enemy, that she used him as a weapon, that she kept him away from his father's family. That's trauma that's going going to last a lifetime. This situation shows how toxic relationships can spiral out of control and hurt everyone involved. When adults can't handle their emotions maturely, children become collateral damage in their wars. Social media made this whole situation worse. Instead of handling this privately, everyone involved put their business on the internet for the world to see. That child is going to grow up with all this drama documented online forever. This whole situation should serve as a masterclass in recognizing red flags in relationships. Age gaps, manipulation, using children as weapons, blocking family members. These are all signs of toxic behavior that you need to run from. When you're choosing someone to have children with, you're not just choosing a romantic partner. You're choosing a co-parent for life. You're choosing someone who's going to have access to your child, influence over your child, and the power to make your life heaven or hell. From a legal standpoint, parental alienation is a real thing that courts take seriously. When you block a parent from seeing their child without just cause, when you turn a child against their parent, you can face serious legal consequences. The damage from this situation isn't just going to affect Choppa and his baby mama, it's going to affect that child for the rest of his life. When he grows up and understands what happened, how his mother used him as a weapon, how she kept him from his father's family, that's going to mess with his head. At the end of the day, this whole situation isn't just about rap beef or baby mama drama. It's about the importance of choosing your partners wisely, especially when you're bringing children into the world. It's about the consequences of toxic behavior and how it affects innocent children. The real victims here are the kids, fam. That little boy is going to grow up and eventually understand what his mother did, how she used him as a weapon against his father, how she slept with his father's enemy out of spite. That's going to mess with his head for life. And let's not forget about that 81-year-old grandmother who just wanted to love her great-grandchild. She's been blocked from seeing him, blocked from calling him, all because of adult drama that has nothing to do with her. That's heartbreaking. The real question is, what happens next? How do you come back from this level of betrayal and disrespect? How do you co-parent with someone who's proven they'll use your child as a weapon? And more importantly, how do you protect the children from the fallout of adult decisions? Choppa might need to take this to court, get a custody agreement in place, and document all this toxic behavior because right now, his baby mama has shown she can't be trusted to put their child's best interests first. This situation should serve as a warning to everybody out there. Be careful who you have kids with because when things go bad, some people will use your own children against you. They'll block you from seeing them, turn them against you, and even put them in harm's way just to hurt you. Learn to recognize the signs of toxic behavior early. If someone tries to isolate you from your family, if they use manipulation tactics, if they show signs of being controlling or vindictive, run. Don't wait until you have children together to find out who they really are. NLE Choppa situation shows us that fame and money can't protect you from toxic people in your personal life. No matter how successful you are, if you choose the wrong person to have kids with, they can make your life a living hell. They can damage your relationship with your children, hurt your family, and create trauma that lasts for generations. But there's hope in this situation too. Choppa is young. He's got resources, and he's got a strong family support system. With the right legal help and therapeutic support, he can rebuild his relationship with his son and protect him from further manipulation. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Do you think Choppa's baby mama got what she deserved, or did things go too far? What about YoungBoy's role in all this? Was he wrong for getting involved, or was he just taking advantage of an opportunity? And what about the impact on the children involved? How do you think this is going to affect that little boy as he grows up? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and make sure you subscribe for more real talk about what's happening in the culture. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this story because something tells me this ain't over yet. Remember fam, protect your peace, choose your partners wisely, and always put your children first. Because at the end of the day, these adult games have real consequences for innocent kids who didn't ask to be part of the drama. Love your kids more than you hate your ex.